Hello and welcome to Garrett Farms. We're back with another episode of Elm Creek, and today we're gonna be getting a sprayer. We've got a lot of weeds out in both of our canola fields here, so we need to get those sprayed down before the canola gets too big. And then we've also got some fields that need some fertilizing at some point here. So I'm looking at these two tractors, and definitely the 4755 on the left here has the narrower tires. So I think that's gonna make sense to be our spraying tractor for this episode. We're gonna go ahead and drop this front weight off here somewhere. Probably stick it right in the barn here, I guess, for lack of a better place to put it. Somewhere just like this ought to work fine for now. Keep it out of the way. Now I have installed some additional mods here, so we've got manual attach, which I think is awesome, especially paired with like the gears and stuff. Farm Sim's really starting to feel a bit more realistic. Maybe at some point we'll actually get into driving in cab. However, for now, we're going to run up to the store. We're going to lease our sprayer. I think that between doing our fields and maybe we'll try and tackle a couple of quick contracts, we'll be able to pay for the leasing costs on this sprayer. So let's run up here real quick and get to it. So looking at the sprayers here, I think we're going to go for this small 3-point model, and we're just going to lease this. It's going to be $17.59 as a lease cost. We're also going to need a pallet of herbicide here, so we'll go ahead and get that done as well. I'm kind of curious here as we're hooking this up. Let's take a quick look at what kind of contracts we've got. We've definitely got fertilizer contracts here. We also have some spraying contracts for herbicides. So herbicide's kind of expensive. I'm not sure I'm gonna wanna spray that off onto somebody else's field, but we'll have to take a look here. It might make sense if we get all of our fields sprayed to not keep any leftovers and go spray the rest of that off. That guy nearly ran into me. I don't see a lot of sense in hanging on to large amounts of product here. I'd rather have cash in the bank. So we're gonna get out here, hook up the hoses, hook up the PTO just like that, get this herbicide put into the tank. Oh my goodness, it's not all gonna fit, so we'll have to run back up here to the store at some point and pick up the rest of this herbicide. Maybe when we do get to doing some contracts after we do the spraying, we can find a field over here near the store to make it worth our while for driving around on the map here. All right, we're back up here at the farm, and we're gonna go ahead and pull into this first field here and start spraying. I'm not quite sure exactly how wide this sprayer setup is here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get things unfolded. Oh, it looks like there's yet another boom section. We're off by just a little bit, so let's see if we can back up a little bit closer to this guy's fence here. We don't want to put anything through the fence, maybe even go in cab here. There we go, looking good, looking good. If we start spraying here and get a move on, I have to say I do enjoy the new spraying effects, I guess I would call them, on the sprayers. It looks quite a bit better than it did in FS19. So little details got improved. I'm digging it, and we're definitely not using that much herbicide here. I'm kind of curious now if I can spray on this field. I don't think I can because it's already got a spray effect on it. I'm tempted to test that. I know in FS19 I couldn't spray on a field that had just had fertilizer applied to it, so we'll have to play around with that a little bit here at some point. Now we've got the sprayer section control button set up here on this sprayer. However, I also have to worry about running into a fence up there, and so I think what I want to do is turn off the right two particle widths here, and then it looks like based on where the spraying is, I'm going to want to turn off the left two as well. So we're gonna go something like that where we've only got the middle 5 booms spraying, and as we drive down here, it's looking pretty good. We probably could have overlapped a bit more and left one more of these booms on. Missed a couple of weeds back there, but overall this is looking good. And so in theory, I'm using significantly less spray driving down this way. Oh, it looks like I'm catching the fence here. We'll have to get out and check those nozzles, make sure they're still good. But in theory, with the section control like that, we're saving spray and not wasting all that money, because this spray is expensive stuff. And so I'm digging these new controls here. Very fluid, very much reminiscent of the sprayer section control mod, except it's not automatic, so that's all right. We're going to take what we can get here. I'll even take a manual spray control. It seemed to work out pretty well. And so we're gonna run over here and grab the weeds in this other little field here real quick. This should be something similar where it's less than a round. I don't think we'll quite get it in one pass, but there's just not much of a field here. This is the other reason why I really wanted the 3-point version of the sprayer, so that we could get in and out of these fields pretty quick without hopefully crashing into too much stuff. All lined up here. Maybe, oh, turn it off. We forgot to reset our sprayer. All right, if we turn our help menu back on here, I think I can use Control Z to do both at once. There we go. We're back to fully wide. We're in a forward gear. Let's try that again. There we go. Working much better when you actually tell the computer to turn on all the nozzles. So we'll take this pass off, and then this time, since I'm not contending with a fence exactly, we've got a little extra space on there. I think we'll put this thing to the test and turn off the right side here. So if we just drop all 4 of the right side booms and then turn on our sprayer, it looks like we should be good to go. Maybe I need one more right side boom there just for a little bit of overlap. Make sure we're not missing any sections here. I'm not worried about 1 or 2 weeds, but I do enjoy this functionality a lot. I know we're kind of playing around with it here. There we go. We'll reset this back to full spray mode so that next field I don't forget. And now I'm really kind of curious if this thing is gonna take if I spray one of our other fields or not. But since we are gonna do some other spraying here, I think we'll go ahead and take the chance, see if it's working, and I guess test this out. It's a new farming simulator. We can't be afraid of losing a couple $100 because we didn't want to test out how the functionality works. So here we go. We're gonna spray for weeds on a field that is in a recently fertilized state. If it doesn't work, we can always come back and hit this again at a later date once the crops have popped up here, which should probably be after the time ticks by one more time. So let's give this a shot. It does seem to be doing something. In fact, it looks like it's erasing some of the fertilizer state on this field in some way. Either way, we can see a difference here. It looks like I can see all my tire tracks, probably where I drove over some crop or something, some stubble. I can't remember what we did to this field before we're spraying it here. So let's look at the map here and see what this field looks like if we bring up the growth state. Still looks good. The soil composition state, if I get rid of the plow and the lime that we've forgotten about. Our fertilizer state seems to be in a good spot. I do see some pink on the edges. Did I miss some weeds or something? I'm not sure, but we're gonna go with this, and we'll just spray both of these fields that we got here real quick and see how it goes. I can probably drop the outside 3 of these off, and we'll just spray this up. I'm excited. This seems to be working. Now, if we don't get any weeds in this field, I'll be feeling pretty good about things. Let's see if it kills these couple of weeds on the outside edge here. Make sure that it's working. It's not actually killing those little weeds on the outside edge. That's what makes me nervous. I would have expected these guys right here to die off when we're spraying. I don't know why they're still here. So either way, we're gonna get in here, fold this thing up, and do one more field just because we've got it hooked up. We've got the product in the tanks, and if it turns out this was a giant waste of resources, well, then we'll know. Oh man, I forgot we left our truck out here. We'll have to remember to get that back up to the farm here at some point, but for now, we're just going to ignore that. Try not to get too much spray on it. Get backed up here to the edge, and let's see here. There we go. I think last time I was forgetting to put it into a more appropriate gear as well. Let's jump down here to 10th gear. Seems like a good spot to be. Keeps our RPMs nice and high. Shouldn't have any problems when we hit some of these smaller hills. We've got adjustment with the mouse on the sprayer here. I'd be kind of curious to take another look in a second. We're clipping into these bushes. We turned a little tight with the sprayer. Let's try to avoid the telephone pole as well. I know I've got up and down with the booms. It looks like, yep, height is about the only thing we've got going for us right now. We're all over the place as far as our ability to drive straight today, though, unfortunately. So we'll try to behave ourselves just a little bit. I know a couple of people have mentioned now that we've got the enhanced vehicle mod as well as the, is it vehicle control add-on available now for FS22, both of which have a GPS/drive straight type functionality available, and so I definitely need to check those out at some point here. For now, we've been doing everything by hand. I'm going to take a headland pass off here, I think, and just get the outside edge. I know I've already driven through here with the sprayer a bit, so we're going to shut down the right-hand side just to give us some room here as we're turning around. Make sure we're getting to the edge of this. Don't want any missed bits for sure. And if we swing back here, it looks like we're going to have a round and a half to finish things up, so that's all right by me. We're gonna just overlap a smidge here since it's a little difficult. Oh no, looks like we're gonna get the whole thing. If I just sneak over here and hug this left side real close, looks like we can get everything done in this pass, which is awesome. And we've used up less than half of the spray in the tank. Now there's some weeds that aren't getting sprayed down, so I'm really kind of confused by how this is working. Clearly those weeds I expected to disappear here when we were spraying herbicide, so I'll probably need to do a little bit more testing offline to see if we can figure out how this is all working. But in the meantime, we've got some spraying done here. Let's drive this thing back over here to the farm and we'll check and see what kind of contracts we've got. I want to go up and pick up the leftover spray that we do have up by the store there as well. I hate leaving miscellaneous products laying about on the map. So looking at the contract list here, it looks like we've actually got a fairly big contract up here for Field 32 at $9,000. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that contract for $9,000. And we're going to head on up here to the store and take a look at that field. Hopefully we're going to have enough product between what we've got in the tank and what we've got sitting up at the store there to knock that field out. If we get on the road here real quick and heading up to the store, I can take a quick look at the map here. Field 32 is this really large field right up here, so it's quite a bit larger than the 4 little fields that we did. So I've got my questions as to whether or not we're going to be able to knock it all out with the product we have. But even if we aren't able to completely hit that field, I think that even if we have to buy another round of fertilizer, that's still only going to have been a $5,000 investment between the lease and 2 of those tanks of fertilizer, or I should say herbicide. You know, we're going to get $8,000-$9,000 for doing that contract. So that makes it worth it by my math. First up, we're going to go ahead and top this tank off, though, as long as we're here. And so if I'm not mistaken, the fill for this is on the side here where we got the little mixing station and such. There we go, all topped off, and we've still got some sitting here. So let's get out here in the field. I'm feeling a little bit more confident based on the fact that we've got some more sitting there, and I was seeing this big tall corn as we're heading over the creek, hoping that that wasn't our field, but it's not. It's this next field over here that we're gonna be diving into. So let's get this thing unfolded here and see how this is gonna work out. Now right about here is where I'm gonna be missing the precision farming mini map updating so that I can see where I've sprayed and where I haven't. Also pretty much missing GPS at this point because we're gonna have to try and, you know, do the equivalent of counting rows here to make sure I'm not overlapping too much, wasting our spray. But we are getting up to 7 miles an hour here. I'd like to be going, you know, 10 to 12 with a good US style sprayer in my experience, but we're gonna have to settle settle for 7 at the moment until we get some more sprayers added to the game. So with that, let me knock this field out, and we'll check back in when we run out of spray or we get the field done. We'll see which comes first. All right, we've gotten down here to the end of the field. Again, we've made it a good chunk through the field. You can see my tire tracks down there if you look into the distance. If we look at the contracts, we're 52% done with this contract, but I am down to 16% spray. And so since I can kind of see where I've gone, I feel like we're doing a good job of not missing a lot here. We're gonna take this opportunity to run on up to the store while we're on this end of the field and top off our spray. I'm not sure how much is left in that tank up at the store, but I figured we might as well do it while we're on the correct end of the field here, rather than running out on the long end and having to drive all the way back out here. Plus, I think it would be a little bit harder to figure out where I left off spraying in the middle of the field with the crops up like they are. So hopefully we've got enough to make a difference here. 41%, probably not enough to finish this contract, but we're gonna go with this, see how far we get, and then come back up here and probably have to purchase another pallet of the herbicide here, which is okay. This contract is more than gonna pay for that. So we'll get back out here, we'll keep going on this, and we'll check back in a little bit. All right, that got us through one full round, and we're already down to 7%. We're only 76% of our way through this contract, so it's back up to the shop here. We're gonna buy another pallet and get this knocked out. All right, we have knocked out the contract here and also got an achievement, help me help you, for doing our first contract, I guess. And so we had come back full and started on the other end of the field here and kind of met in the middle. So that's pretty good. We've got 62% left here and probably a little bit back up now at the shop once again. So I'm excited. We've covered all of the cost of our lease and buying the chemical at this point. Maybe we'll find one more small contract here to knock out or something just to use up a bit more of this. I'm not sure, but I think we'll be hitting that off camera. I think we'll take a look at the finances here and call today a wrap. We come in here and collect our nearly $9,000 for that contract and jump over here into September. You can see all said and done, we've leased for a total of $3,850 today, which I believe includes our seeder that we did in the last episode. You can see our seed and fertilizer costs are here, and then our contract income. And so we're almost broke even for the day. By the time I do probably one more contract here, we'll have broke even, and that'll be awesome. The spraying here having covered not only our spraying costs, but our planting costs as well. And so you can't really turn down economics like that. So I'm gonna get this filled up. I'll knock off a couple of other contracts here off camera just to get us to a point where we don't have to leave any fertilizer up here at the shop, and we'll check back in next episode, hopefully moving the time forward and checking out some additional game mechanics here in Farming Simulator. That's all for today. Kedrick out. But I think we'll put this thing to the test and run into the wall. Oh goodness.